Alright, so we had this really, really awesome, intense match against Kraken here, and I was playing as medic, which I never do. I'm actually normally hide, and Rob is normally medic or support, so it was just this complete switch up for me, and going up against a Kraken, which is probably the most powerful monster. Well, in the beta, Wraith was way overpowered at the moment, but either way, we had audio for this, like you can see that I'm talking and everything, but yeah, I didn't realize my recorder wasn't picking up anyone else's voices, and I record everything through my phone for my voice, so I have all my voice for everything, but it sounds like I'm just, talking to myself. And so that's why a lot of stuff I've released, there hasn't really been any commentary or anything to it. So right now I just kind of wanted to throw this video out, and I want to just leave it with just game sounds, stuff like that. I more or less wanted to talk about the game and some other stuff, and just kind of show this game, because this was probably one of our better Kraken games where he didn't just come after us after staging up to stage 2 and immediately kill us. Which, yeah, that happened quite a few times. I do have another Kraken match in here, though, where we took him down in under 5 minutes. It was pretty amazing. The whole game really just varies depending on who you have as teammates, how they're playing. If you have one guy who's not doing his job, you're fucked. You're absolutely fucked. But, I've just been kind of looking at everything in the forums, seeing what people are saying in the YouTube comments, and some people seem to have misinformation and just don't seem to understand what's going on. Like, at first there was complaints of, there's not enough content in this, I can't play this, why am I gonna pay $60 for something without a lot of content? Believe it or not, this is quite a bit of content. It may not sound like, oh, there should be multiple guns, there should be more of these characters in there. With just 2 sets of characters, fucking hound got me there. Anyways, with just 2 sets of characters, I have put in over 60 hours in just the alpha and the beta alone. And I only used, really, assault and trapper classes. I didn't use anything else, and I didn't get mastery on any of them. I got close on the beta with hide, but I was just a few short of the toxic grenade to get the master, which kind of killed me a little bit, but I did want to take some time because I wanted to play Lazarus, so that's why I absolutely hate playing this Val, because I'm just not that great of a shot, even though it seems a lot easier than it was in the alpha. In the alpha I was just having a lot of trouble shrinking. That shrink gun, that is just fantastic stuff right there.
There, see it?
Holy cow. So really, there's a lot to do with these games, and people say it gets too repetitive, but honestly, between a mix of hunters and monsters, each game has felt pretty unique. I haven't felt games that have felt samey, or I know typically like paths people will take if they're a certain monster, but at the same time, everybody has a different playstyle. We've had guys that have done nothing but sneaking and running, and other guys who will grab a buff and just chase us down as it's stage 1 and somehow pull off a win out of nowhere. But for the most part, it's kind of fun. There's a thrill to the hunt, and really just chasing constantly and looking for the monster. See, it's kind of bad with Casual there to kind of dome by himself. Luckily we get him there and we help him. And for this entire match, me and Rob there were kind of holding things together. Which is kind of crazy considering we're both in completely opposite roles. But so really it doesn't feel repetitive, and I put in that much time in just one game mode in just 2 tiers. That's it. 2 tiers and just a couple of hunters. Or four hunters. But so And it's easy. They compared to the alpha it took forever to unlock tier 2, but in the beta you got tier 3 like that. You had your tier 2s, but your masters would take quite some time to get the 3-star. So they kind of made it to where you can get access to the next characters quickly. But at the same time, if you want to keep playing as a character, you get something to keep progressing towards. So you don't feel like it's just useless, oh, I should probably get a mastery for this or that.
Tracking gun ready.
Why got Bucket's body sitting there shaking? Okay. Anyways. And I haven't seen any more complaints about content-wise. What I'm seeing complaints about now is DLC. I don't want to do DLC, I don't want to be day one DLC. First off, the only thing that's day one is the skins. Second off, the DLC, yeah, they're overpricing it a bit, so that's just them trying to get you to buy the season pass, which, I mean, if you're going to be really into the game, it's worth it to get the season pass. And you'll be able to have all the monsters and the hunters, and I'd say $25 is fair for that, to get that much extra. Considering how much time they put into working on the monsters and the hunters, well, it's a lot of man hours. And they don't just, they could just make the monster texture and put everything on him, give him his powers, and just throw them out to the community and have them overpowered, unbalanced, and barely play-tested, which, you know, games do shit like that. And then they sit there and have to take on balance and it's a mess, and they're going, oh, it's OP, and then another side who plays as the OP thing going, no it's not, don't nerf it. If you nerf it, I'm gonna stop playing. So, really, as gamers, we're kind of a shitty community. We really are. And there's just, like, I see a lot of people actually, the Wraith got nerfed a bit. Like, not even that much. Supernova does 10% less damage, and the decoy takes 30% longer to recharge after use. And you can't dash away while cloaked from the decoy. Which, that's all very acceptable. And it's still going to leave the Wraith quite powerful, because they did increase its abduct range and explosive Wraith Blast range thingamajigger. I didn't really play much as a monster. Kind of just shitty at it. I don't know. I felt like I was doing everything right, but I typically get chased down pretty well. Which always sucks. I get teamed up with terrible people quite often, and then when I play as a monster, actually, I think I know why that is. Because when you have parties of 4, you'll find monsters pretty quickly of the one person playing alone. So as a monster, you're gonna typically find people in a party of 4. Okay, now I know why I was finding teams that actually work together. That makes sense now. So that means the average games as a monster, there's going to be more teams working together when you play as a monster versus when you play as just a random hunter. You're going into a mixed team, you're going to have a team that's not too coordinated. We did actually find quite a few good people in this. I think Cat wasn't that bad though. He didn't really stick around with him too long. But he did decent, but he was still pretty inexperienced. That was... yeah, I didn't realize her medic gun had that much range. I honestly didn't. I've always noticed people like right on top of me doing it. I never seen anybody try to do it from this far away, and I think this is what made me successful in this match. Is that I was sticking back and healing. Except for right now, I'm just kind of counting my ass. Nope. Even... let's go back to content real quick. I know I was talking about this. It feels like 2 different games versus playing the hunter and playing the monster. It honestly feels completely different. I just wanted to add that and say this. I mean, the first person in the hunters, you have to use a lot of teamwork, and then as a monster, it's a lot of stealth and managing your health and picking your encounters, and it's just feels way different between the two. Anyways, let's talk about DLC. A lot of people believe that there's day 1 DLC. Like, there's people who pre-order are going to immediately have the new Hunters or the new Monster. That's not true. In Tier 3, yeah, they kind of lock them during the beta for people who pre-purchased as another incentive to get more pre-purchases. Which I'm not a big fan of, but at the same time, fuck it, right? This is the other thing, like, people get so bitchy about pre-order incentives nowadays. I don't know why that is. Because think of it this way. They need a certain number off of launch. Like, if movies went to the theater and nobody went to see that, let's use movies as an example. Nobody went to the theater to watch movies and just said, I'm gonna wait till DVD and then maybe split the budget with, you know, a few friends and we can all pay and it's less than movie tickets still. Then they wouldn't make enough money to pay fucking ridiculous wages of like fucking AAA actors or whatever, A-list actors, that's what they call them. These are video game shit like that. They wouldn't be able to pay them. So they rely on those initial box office, movie release things to go with that. Games took a similar approach with pre-order. Pre-order numbers is pretty much what they go by now. And they want to sell the game at full price. Think of it this way. If you didn't like there's no, like back in the day, pre-ordering for a hot game was kind of a necessity, because if you really wanted that game, you probably weren't going to get it if you didn't pre-order because of the limited amount of copies. But now with digital distribution, everything like that, everyone can get a copy. It doesn't really matter anymore. But here's the thing, they still want to make that full price, that initial sell, to judge how good their game did. And to decide if they want to continue working the turtle off or they just want to stop funding them and just want to sit back and turtle off. So they need to get pre-order numbers up. How do you do that if the game is in a limited quantity and you don't need to pre-order? Well, you add something like extra skins or free DLC. And some people complain, well, it's a part of the game that's locked away. Well, Behemoth is still being worked on. Behemoth actually isn't even ready. So, really, Behemoth, it's not an essential part of the game. If you're locking away content that is essential to the game, then you're fucked up. You are a fucked up person. If you're adding content that is an extra to the game, that's perfectly fine. And doing it as a pre-order incentive is okay. And listen, if you don't like that, then wait for the game to go on sale. Buy it cheaper then, and you say, well, I don't have the DLC. You can also wait, because on PC, Season Passes go on sale. You can do that. DLC will go on sale. It'll be cheaper if you like the game and you want to get it then. Because Season Pass is $25 now. It could end up being 13 somewhere down the line. They did that with Bioshock Infinite a few times, actually. I ended up paying full price for that Season Pass, and I was like, damn it. Because it eventually came out. It was like $8 at one point, or like $7. And I kind of regretted that a bit, but really, they just try to add in little things to get pre-order stuff. I do have to say that Mortal Kombat X, that pre-order, go ahead and be pissed off at that, because they're locking away Goro. It's not like Goro was a new character, some cameo character. No, he's part of traditional Mortal Kombat. I don't remember ever being able to play him. But still, I feel like that's something you should just have into the game anyways, is have a playable Goro and not lock him off due to pre-order DLC. That's fucked up. Okay, so, you know what, don't pre-order them. How about that? Don't pre-order that. Ban against that. This one, they're not locking away stuff that is necessary to the game, that is part of the original game. Actually, Destiny kind of did that. I don't know if anybody saw that. If you didn't buy the new DLC, you can't participate in weekly events now, which were part of the game, so they've locked away part of the game you used to have. Anyways, yeah, they're, like, Jim Sterling was talking about how this game is catered to DLC, and now they're trying to promote that, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because maybe that extends the life of the game. That'll give it a longer play time, it'll keep it alive more in the community. And yeah, there'll probably be sales on it, unlike, you know, games like Call of Duty, which, fuck you on DLC. $60 for a season pass for Call of Duty. $60. This is 25. 25 versus 60. Tell me which one you prefer. I'm getting a little aggressive defending them. But either way, you can actually play DLC if you don't have it. They were actually talking about that, and one of the ways is, say your friend has a DLC, and you want to try it out, you say, I want to try that character you're playing as. Get into a match together. Your friend with the DLC leaves. Then you can switch over to his character, who is now a bot, and play as a DLC character for a short amount of time. So really, they're going to let you play as DLC. Say someone is the Behemoth, and they get disconnected due to some kind of connection error. You're looking for the game, you're a monster player, you don't have DLC. You end up in this game as a Behemoth. Holy fuck, I'm the Behemoth. So really, they're trying to really show that they're not locking away content. They're not really... They're going to let other people play with each other if they have DLC. They're going to have access to that. And yeah, I know, we all would want more characters. And honestly, this is a really well-made game, and I feel like it does have enough as it is, content-wise. So even with just, like I said, with one mode and 2 tiers of characters, there's going to be 3 tiers. Trust me, 3rd tier is not DLC. That is vanilla. That is in the game. That is essential. So, we're going to have all that. I'm going to very easily probably get like 500 hours out of this game with just normal content. Because I was cramming as much as I could, but I'm probably going to try. Really, I want to go up on those leaderboards. I feel very competitive in this game. I love it. I am addicted to this. Well, we're almost coming up on the end of the match here. Shit, I need to wrap this up. Kind of going on enough. The one thing I do want to, that was a bad practice of DLC, and I didn't hear anybody up in arms about it. Bad Company 2. I love Bad Company 2. And that had Day 1 DLC. And the Day 1 DLC would lock other players away from you, and as more DLC came out for that game, it became harder for people without the DLC to find the game, to find games. And I didn't have that DLC, so it would start connecting to the match, and then be like, oh, you don't have this DLC, you can't play with them. Fuck you, pay me. Was what EA was telling me. It was just terrible. And with this, they're not going to be doing that, and I caught someone in the comments saying that they're going to be releasing new maps for free. Which is actually kind of awesome. And I really feel like Turtle Rock is trying to do some great things here, and yes, there are some things that, you know, you may not like, you may not be, oh, this. It seems like gamers lately have just gotten bitchier and more demanding of things, and you know, really the DLC stuff and the pre-order stuff is more of a 2K decision, but at the same time, I have to like understand that because they took a huge risk on making something like this, on top of, you know, they could have just done a tried and true method. They could have maybe pumped out Borderlands 3 or another NBA 2K5, 15, whatever the fucking basketball game is. They could have just done something that they really want to make money off of, but instead they looked at Turtle Rock. They knew they had a nice history, only game out there than Left 4 Dead, but Left 4 Dead was a huge game changer in the gaming world. That was a big deal. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was a huge deal when Left 4 Dead came out. That was a game of the year, like co-op game of the year winner. And it was a very beloved game. I actually didn't know what the studio was. I didn't know it was Turtle Rock. I just saw Valve. That's it. Oh god. I see so many people do that where they just jump down in there and get eaten by a tyrant. Gotta remember there's a fucking tyrant there. Come on, guys. As you can see, me and Rob there are the only ones without strikes. So we were, like I said, we were kind of holding this match together. But anyways, back to really, they've got to make money off of this. This isn't a cheap project. This wasn't something that was just like, oh, yeah, you can just make this for this set amount of money. People have to be paid. Things have to be spent. These are multi-million-dollar projects. They cost a lot, and then, you know, they kind of demand pre-order numbers, high ones, if they want to continue working with this developer to make sequels. So say we want a sequel for Evolve, it's going to be, you know, this much set amount. And let's go back to how evil EA is. You know what EA did to Dead Space? I guess they did want to make a Dead Space 3, I don't know. Dead Space 2 wrapped up things to me, and I didn't want to fucking fuck with the 3, because, no, to me it was over after Dead Space 2. 3 was like, you know, Aliens 3. And basically, they told Visceral if they want to make more games, if they want to make more Dead Space games and everything, what they need to do is sell 1 million copies out of release. EA told them that, told Visceral that they need to sell 1 million copies out of release. So basically, they just told them, we're not going to be making any more Dead Space games. Which was kind of fucked up. I mean, I didn't want them to make more Dead Space games, but still. They pretty much threatened to close the studio, which EA has done quite a bit. But, anyway, just fucking terrible people. And I'm pretty sure 2K, if this doesn't do well, they may not want to go with Turtle Rock again. This may be the last time they do anything with Turtle Rock. But so far, it does seem like the game's going to be selling quite a few numbers. It's won awards for like E3, shit like that, a whole bunch of this. And it is truly a great game. The balance is amazing. It plays fantastically. And really, DLC really isn't that big of a deal. I know you're having to pay set amount for characters, which is expensive. It's just their way of trying to get your devices fast. Which, honestly, like I said, you can play the DLC without buying the DLC. So if you feel like you don't want to do that, then don't do that. Also, there was a comment about how it's confusing options. There's only 3 options: Super Deluxe, Deluxe, and then Normal. But anyways, that's the end of the match. Thank you for listening to me rant, and have a great night.